AnandTech's article archive has been taken down. I know. This happened a couple of weeks ago, but I just found out this week. I was reviewing a script with, I think it was Plouffe and Nick from the lab. Really cool video we've got coming soon, by the way, guys. We finally got our hands on an NVIDIA H200. So sure, yeah, it's their last gen one or whatever, but it's a $30,000 GPU. And we ran some machine learning and AI benchmarks, and it fast. It very fast. It's like, it's so fast, I almost look at it and I go,
wow, it fast.
Wow, damn.
My friends called me and they were like, that's really fast.
Damn, girl. You real fast at making slop. Nobody slops harder than you slop. I mean, but I mean it in a kind way, a respectful way.
You could mean that in a
you
respectful
a sloppy
way.
Girl.
You could. We're already so gone. We're like barely into any topics. We are so gone.
Well, folks, it's been nice knowing you. Sayonara from Canada.
Oh, boy. Okay.
AnandTech. So, yeah, our source is Reddit. Well, actually, our source is me, because I discovered this live. I was trying to find out... Shoot, I forget what I think I was trying to find out sort of, yes, I remember now. Because I seemed to recall that the first GPU that implemented HBM memory was the Radeon R600. That ended up not being true. The R600 did have a notable memory configuration. It used a ring bus and a 512-bit, or it might even been more than that, I forget. But it had some kind of fancy memory interface. It wasn't HBM. And so... We were talking about something to do with the HBM memory that's on that H200 GPU. See, I brought it all the way back.
Yeah, he got
Boom.
it.
And I was like, oh yeah, well, hold on a second. I thought HBM had like a reputation for, was it for being really efficient or was it for being really inefficient? I couldn't remember which one. So I was trying to find AnandTech's article on the Radeon R600 or the R600 GPU. I forget what the actual like name of the card was. Was it the 20 something? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. The point is R600 was the code name. And I clicked through.
2900?
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, that's the one. Wait, 2900 XT. Is that Hawaii?
It's not even an AI overview. It's a snippet.
Yeah, no, that's the one. Yep. Yeah. So I clicked through the article and it went to the AnandTech forum. Not like the forum thread discussing the article or anything like that. Like that was a thing, but no, not that. Just to the forum. I was like, oh, what the heck? That's weird. Anyway, we found a second source on that page of results, and I was like, oh, okay, no. That card did not have HBM. It was actually the R9 Fury that was the first card to have HBM. And I was like, okay, so I searched like R9 Fury efficiency so what happened was in my brain, I had, there was an efficiency conversation around HBM, but it turns out the efficiency conversation went both ways. So the card overall was not terribly efficient, but the HBM itself was known for being efficient. And that was the little piece that I needed. And I was able to continue my script, or at least I would have been able to if I wasn't busy grieving. Because when I was looking for information on the R9 Fury, I came across another historical AnandTech article that was indexed in Google search results. And I clicked on it and it went straight to the forum. And I was like, what? And they were like, you didn't know? And I was like, no, what? AnandTech is gone.
Goners.
I mean, it, I guess, shouldn't surprise me that much because, when private equity firms say, all the staff's gone, but we're going to leave the historical archive up forever, indefinitely. I don't know if they said forever, but There was no indication that they were going to be taking it down. In fact, all the news that you can find about AnandTech shutting down.
In their potential defense,
hold on. We'll come to it. We'll come to it.
Okay.
But blah blah blah. So you can actually see there was a fair bit of conversation about it, and over the sentiment, blah, 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 there's always a question. AnandTech can breathe a sigh of relief. Yes. For now, AnandTech fans can breathe a sigh of relief. Ryan Smith, former editor-in-chief, writes that future PLC, AnandTech's publisher, will keep the site's archive indefinitely. Well, see, there's...
that wording.
Yeah, that wording, though.
I bet you it is true that they will keep the site's archive indefinitely. Doesn't mean they'll keep it up.
So this happened a couple weeks ago. This is actually AnandTech's second PE owner. So first was Perch, who I accidentally blamed for this earlier. Sorry, Perch. First was Perch, and then Future PLC bought, I believe, both AnandTech and Tom's Hardware from Perch. They
own Tom's Hardware now. I know that.
Yeah, Future definitely owns Tom's Hardware now as well. This flipping blows. However, I am going to present one unexpected defense of the move.
Because I had one and I lost it already, so I'm very interested in where. Because I was wondering, like, did that statement happen under Perch, and then it was sold, invalidating the statement? But no. So there goes my whole thing.
Yeah, no, sorry.
So okay, what is yours?
So here's my theory. That basically, because I would think the cost of keeping this online for a company like Future PLC is like trivial.
Especially with ads on the site, yeah.
Unless AI crawlers are fucking them by just like constantly hammering it, which again, I don't know how super likely it is because there's no new content being added to the site other than the forum, which they have left online. So I had like one kind of theory that maybe it was around like, saving this non-AI infected sort of pre-AI era. But then it's going to be part of so many repositories anyway. So yeah, what I had planned was to present, okay, yeah, they're keeping their non-dirty, non-AI written, IP to themselves, and they want to like license access to, helping AIs understand computers and the history of computers. But then realistically, the entire business of harvesting and selling data sets, there's no way they don't already have all of this anyway, so...
A lot of the internet's data was crawled before countermeasures were put in place.
Future isn't private equity, technically. Yes, you're right. They like actually operate and stuff. They're not just private equity. So I should not have necessarily bundled them in with that. They just behave like private equity.
Yeah, I looked up their Wikipedia.
Sorry.
That's Canadian private equity. I'm kidding. Can I find this? Future US. Yeah, there we go. Is it actually just Future US? Oh, no.
No, it's Future PLC.
For the United Kingdom-based companies, see Future PLC. But Future US, it looks like, owns the magazine, maybe? Or at least that's how it's laid out on Wikipedia. Who knows? I just thought it was interesting if you look up Future US on Wikipedia, their list of defunct titles is longer than their list of current titles. Current titles there, and defunct titles.
Right at the top, AnandTech. Wow. They own Nintendo Power?
Well, they, for a period of time.
Yeah, but no, I mean defunct, but they probably still own the IP then, I would think.
I guess, yeah.
Official Dreamcast magazine. Okay, some of these probably didn't need to still be around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Total Movie. Skateboard Trade News. Men's Edge.
CD-ROM Today, I guess.
Yeah, we could live without CD-ROM
Little time
today.
limited.
Yeah.
Might have been cool for a while.
Yep.
Broadcast and cable, I can kind of understand that going down.
I think they should bring back Maximum Linux, though. I think the time is right.
It might, for a magazine, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So what are our options here? Some people have apparently...
Future US is wholly owned subsidiary of Future PLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is apparently an archive on, well, of all places, the Internet Archive. Who could have thought it? But my notes say, but it's not the same. Do you know what is?
No.
What is not the same about it?
No.
You don't.
No. Is it not very navigable? That would be what I would assume. I'm also assuming if there's any tools, that the tools wouldn't work.
So this blows. And I mean, not just for me. Like for me personally, it blows because I would often use historical articles from AnandTech whenever we're making a video about something that's so old that we didn't exist yet as a publication to cover it. Like we've been around so long now that unless something is very old, I could refer back to our old video and I'll be able to find a B-roll clip or two as needed, maybe a benchmark result as shoddily as it might have been obtained back then. But every time one of these old sites goes down and all the articles are lost, we lose a piece of history forever. Like that whole the internet never forgets thing is turning out to be so not true.
Oh, extremely so.
The internet forgets more than the entire rest of recorded human history contains.
I think largely because everyone said the internet never forgets for so long, so they trusted it as an archive. And a backup when it's just a bunch of dudes' computers.
And part of the problem is that now, even knowing the internet totally does forget, and this is going to be an enormous problem, I don't know how we're going to fix it because it's not practical to back up the whole thing in all its different permutations as it is ever changing. And there's so much crap mixed in with the gems that are worth backing up that how do you surgically back up what matters?
Especially now.
Imagine
backing up all that AI slop.
Right? Dude, okay, so back to the H200. Like, you can generate AI slop images at a rate that was mind-blowing to me. Like I already saw what I felt was pretty fast AI image generation when we checked out that 48 gig 4090 card, the one that we got from China, where they're modifying the 24 gig cards and they're putting double the memory on them. And I was like, wow, dang, you can fit like so much model in this VRM, And then we were playing around with the H200. That thing has 141 gigs of memory. 141 gigs.
It's pretty nuts.
Like right on, it's right on the package. Like it's right on there. They stack the memory, sir.
It's a really cool piece of tech.
Yeah, too bad it costs as much as a practical family vehicle.
I just kind of meant HBM in general.
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the HBM is a big part of the price of that card.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I just think HBM is cool.
Yeah, the yields on it apparently is a real challenge. That's why it has an oddball amount, 141 gigs.
That is weird.
Yeah, well, that's because when you're stacking 12 memory dies, occasionally
stuff goes wrong.
Yeah, you might have something not quite so perfect.
We'll get better at it.
I clicked the wrong thing. What is this? Oh, okay. Well, we'll let chat worry about their stuff there. In summary, maybe the reason has to do with protecting the IP from AI scrapers. Maybe the reason has to do with not being able to afford the monthly bill of keeping the site up. Maybe the decision has to do with pure apathy. Whatever the reason is, this absolutely blows. I think I had started a thought earlier about how this affects me, but I think this affects anybody who wants to, learn about stuff from a previous era.
Yeah.
Because what do you?
This was a very valuable archive for computer hardware history.
And computer hardware enthusiasts.
Yeah.
This absolutely blows. And in advance, Future PLC, I reject your offer to purchase Linus Media Group.
Sure. Okay.
Well, because they're going to mess it up.
You don't know what they're going to offer, though.
I don't, but in advance, I reject their offer.
Sure, okay.
I'm being proactive. You should learn about it.
I would more lean towards vain. But, you know.
Why not both?
But fair enough. If this is a potentially odd call out, but if you want a cool experience talking about the closure of an old magazine, there's a podcast that they really haven't made enough episodes of, but it's called The Life Well Wasted, and I think it's their first episode ever is the death of EGM, or Electronic Gaming Monthly. And it's like he goes and interviews a bunch of the people at their, I think it's like their like last day or at a party where it's like the closure of the company party, and it's actually really wild because they're talking about like the death of magazines. And it's a bunch of people that had worked at a bunch of different magazines and ended up eventually over time to EGM, because EGM was one of the later ones to go down in regards to gaming magazines. It's actually like a really good episode, but...
Right, because these are the last ones left standing in the industry, effectively.
Yeah. And they talk about like what it was like to write video game reviews back when like the internet wasn't a thing, because there's a lot of like old head game reviewers. It's actually like, it's a really, really cool episode, and it's from a podcast that like not a lot of people know about, and it's fantastic. I was talking to Neen Exists in Floatplane Chat, who is apparently a employee.
It's pronounced Nene.
Nene, sure. Apparently employee of Future PLC, and I was asking because like the timing of this is kind of funky. We haven't necessarily gotten to this portion of it yet, but it's, and I don't 100% know, but it seems like Bench, the Tom's Hardware tool Bench, was maybe launched at a fairly similar time to when AnandTech went down.
Oh.
And it feels like there's potentially a strategy there to try to get more people coming towards Bench.
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. So Bench is their comparison tool where you can kind of compare across brands, across eras, and see relative performance. And AnandTech had a lot of historical graphs and charts that either they've rolled in, which I don't actually know how they obtain all the results for Bench. I don't know if they've used any of the AnandTech data, but what they might be avoiding, I guess, to your point, is people just
using AnandTech,
going back and just looking at graphs on
never mind. He's a very ex-employee. My bad. But yeah, apparently there wasn't like she. It's okay. I don't know.
Are you going to get anything right today? Or are you just going to go full like?
Yeah, that. Except for apparently I'm not going to say it this time for some reason. So the time that I get it all wrong, I'll omit the statement. Perfect. But yeah, I don't fully know how this tool works. I wanted to poke into it, and then I realized that they only have yearly subscriptions as far as I can tell, and it's $70 a year, and I was too cheap. But yeah. So that's the closest I've seen, I guess, is this.
Okay. Who would pay for a subscription to this, you think?
Interesting question, because Dan Siegel, the like head of the labs website, and I were looking at this, and he asked that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, but I think you get more than just Bench. Because I think it's the Tom's Hardware premium subscription, so it's not just Bench. I think you get other stuff.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. You get premium exclusive features and interviews. You get expert news analysis and roadmaps, and you get Bench.
Okay.
The power of our Bench database. And it's Tom's, and they have the AnandTech data, so they probably have an incredible amount of data in Bench to back them up.
Man, it's got to be a tough time to be Tom's Hardware.
I think it's got to be a tough time to be any form of written media, to be completely honest.
Yeah, like to be clear, I'm not trying to super dunk on them.
Nope.
I do understand that it is legitimately hard times in the written media industry. But I just, it's going to be even worse when Tom's Hardware eventually goes down, if it ever does.
I don't even...
because like or don't like Tom's Hardware, or whatever, it's again an extremely important perspective on PCs.
We also
to remind you of another site that unfortunately is no more.
It's that thing we always say.
Wait, is PC Perspective still live? Oh, they are still live.
It's like a new kind of deal, now.
Yeah, look at this. You know what? PC Perspective is still publishing.
They cooking?
So I am the problem.
Yeah.
Not PC Per. I am the problem for not reading.
Yeah, Linus. Ugh.
Oh my God, this is rough. There is one comment. You know what, Jason? Good job.
Good job, Jason. Keeping the dream alive. I do find that there's a lot of review sites that I found often don't get very much interaction at all, but they've been around for a long time, so I don't necessarily know that maybe the readers just aren't super interactive. I don't know.
Sure, let's hope for that.
I know of a site that has 100 employees and I don't see a ton of comments. They've got to be making money somewhere.
Parallelogram says, answer the question if you know the answer. The question was specifically directed to the writer of the article about something they said on a podcast recently. So I don't think I'm going to be able to answer it.